Free for Life members, and welcome to our Monday 10-minute training session. Today, by popular demand, we're going to be talking about treating various organ systems using microcurrent therapy. So, organ dysfunction is one of the major factors of disease. And a frequent question that we get when people are learning about the world of microcurrent is whether it's actually possible to repair and revitalize the body and the systems within it. And the short answer is yes, but one should not expect regeneration to occur overnight. I think we get this question a lot because we always talk about how to deal with inflammation and inflammatory problems. And so people automatically jump to the fact, well, they can't do anything else. But again, the ability to regenerate the cells in the body is naturally there. We are just going to be able to stimulate and enhance that functionality. So to begin, I want you to think of the organs in the body like different factories. So your liver is one factory, your lung is another factory. They're all performing a specific purpose, generally producing something that the body needs or just performing a function that the body needs to survive. But if you're thinking about those as factories, I want you to also think about the meridians in the body like power lines. And these power lines are keeping the organ systems running. So ignoring meridian systems when trying to repair organ systems is a huge no-no. It can be a big problem. If you lose power to a factory, then you can't expect the factory to run properly, no matter how hard you kind of egg it on. So there are two things that go into optimal organ repair and treatment. Number one, soft tissue repair must occur. For this, we recommend SanaSoft T as one of the modes, or 90 hertz if you can program your device. If you don't have a device that's programmable or you don't have a Pinnacle, you want to use 77 hertz. This is for if you don't have SanaSoft T or access to 90 hertz. So you can paint the affected organ systems and work out any active zones to encourage regeneration. If you don't know the specific locations of organs, if you know you have an issue with a particular organ, just go ahead, hop onto Google, type in the organ system. You'll get a load of pictures you can use to kind of give you that information. For example, the liver, which is a nice, easy one to show, is underneath the right pec here. So it's right under here, and it kind of extends along a little bit here and down here. So the liver is one that can be great for a demonstration here. So what I would do is I would turn on my device and head down to my 90 hertz, which I have in this one as SanaSoft T. There we go. Then I would place the device right here on my body, and I would adjust the power. I mean, obviously, I would do it without clothing on, so I could feel it. Once I can feel it, I would start to paint over the system, and I would go along just covering the area and working out any sticky and active zones that the liver is taking on, okay? Once this is clear, then I would consider this step of treatment done. It's that easy. And if you have the evolution or the genesis, you would default to 77 hertz for soft tissue repair, which is also your scar tissue frequency. So once you've done this, once you've painted out the active zones in the organ systems, you're encouraging regeneration in the body. Number two, so that was number one. Number two, organ-specific frequencies. Now, this is a little bit of a different take on this. The different organs and meridian systems in the body respond to different frequency sets. And these are listed in the ProSport 3 device or the Avasia Life Pinnacle as abbreviated versions of the meridian system. So for example, when you go down far enough in your program list here, you'll find that LU, it's LU 824, is lungs. And so when you're on that mode, LU 824, you are in the right program for treating lungs. And then HT 497 is heart, SI 791 is small intestine. You can look for those kind of correlations there, or you can just refer to your manual as well. So these should and can be used in multiple ways. First off, you've already painted over the organ system using 90 hertz or SanaSoft T or your soft tissue repair frequencies. Once you've done this, you want to move on to this specific thing with these specific frequencies, but painting again. So painting over the organ system, for example, let me find liver on here. Liver is LR442. So once I've got liver, I can then paint over my liver. Okay, so a nice simple way of making sure soft tissue in general is being repaired and blockages are removed, and then I'm working specifically on that organ system. So I'm painting over this just for about 3 minutes. I'm not so worried about active zones at this point because I've already removed those active zones. Secondly, and this is hard for those that are not familiar with meridians, but you want to trace the meridian lines, painting the entire line with the appropriate frequency. So in this case, I could trace my liver from way down on the bottom of my body, like down by my feet, all the way up to the top of my body using something like the Y electrode. And don't need to worry too much about active zones, but if you find any particularly critical active zones that are really sticky on a meridian line, you should paint them out for a little bit, because even breaking that up a little bit could restore power to your factories. So you can follow the whole meridian line. This is essentially an excellent way to ensure that those power lines are functioning within the body properly. It's important to note, again, and I'm sure you're all so sick of me saying this at this point, that regeneration cannot occur in the presence of inflammation. So when it comes to working on the organ systems, we want to make sure that the inflammation is reduced and or eliminated first. So work over that organ itself with an anti-inflammatory frequency, 350 hertz, 121 hertz, if you're holding it in place, or modulate 3-to-1 if you're holding it in place, or simply use 1 cycle of Sanapane to get the inflammation down. Then you can turn to the right frequencies and try to actually start repairing the organ systems. It's a two-pronged approach you have to be able to take. Additionally, if you're using something like a Meade device, you can actually analyze the meridians and you can determine where the organs are inflamed and not, and it will give you specific points that you can use to reduce that inflammation prior to going to it with the regeneration treatment. So it's really, really easy. So again, in my example of the liver, going on Sanasoft T, painting over the liver, going on to the LR442, the liver mode, painting over the liver, and then tracing the liver lines. And you can look these up. Again, it's quite complicated, but you can look them up and you can trace those liver lines to actually make sure the entire system, power lines and factory, are functioning optimally. And as long as you get the inflammation out first, the regeneration will be able to start being spurred into action, and things will start to work better. Okay, everyone, so that is it for today. Thank you for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful, please put a little like or thumbs up, drop a comment below. What it does is it moves the video up the page so that when people log into the page for the first time in the day, they're going to see this at the top and they'll get to see it. So it just helps more people see it. If you have any questions or concerns about this, or you want any clarifications, go ahead and drop them below as well. Otherwise, I will see you next week for another Monday 10-minute training. Take care and have a great day.